Hey, how you doing? This is Tim with Vanderbilt Financial Solutions, and today we are going to talk about business debt solutions for when your bank won't help. We're going to talk today about what is business debt, is it a bad thing, what's the first step to eliminate debt, and then how to use debt, and then sources to help you get out of debt. First of all, what is business debt? Whenever you have a small business, whatever the case may be, you're going to accumulate some debt. There's just no way of getting around it. It's just part of doing business. In fact, it's definitely not a bad thing to have debt. The bad thing where people fall into is what they use the debt for. Unfortunately, whenever new business owners, or just when they're kind of chugging along, maybe they're making a little bit of a profit, they get a little ahead of themselves and they get themselves into debt. And unfortunately, the sales go down, or if it's like in this economy we're in now, the economy slows down, and then they cannot get themselves out of debt, and now they have a big problem, because every month the creditors want their money, and if sales are not coming in, guess what? You've got a big problem. Now you're going to possibly ruin your credit, not only with your credit card companies, but your other lending institutions and companies that you may be dealing with, maybe even your vendors. Now, debt itself is not a bad thing, like I said. It's whenever you use debt and you're using it, there's a magic formula that I always like to use. If you've ever seen any of my other videos, chances are you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the most basic common formula that I suggest using in terms of using your money for any business. So that is revenue minus expenses equals profit. Okay, well, that's very common. You're probably saying, you know that already. But here's the thing. Whenever you're going to spend money for anything, is it going to increase my revenue? Is it going to eliminate my debt, or eliminate my expenses, I should say? Is it going to help me avoid them, or is it going to reduce them? Because that's really the basic idea of a business, of how to run it. And unfortunately, whenever you take on new debt, you have to ask yourself, is this debt that I'm using, what am I using it for? Do I really need it? Is it something that's going to help me, like I said, generate revenue, or something on the expense side to reduce or eliminate them? You have to ask yourself those questions, because there's nothing worse than getting yourself into debt, paying that interest that you're going to pay on that, and then now it's done nothing to help generate revenue. It's done nothing to help eliminate expenses, and now it's just becoming an expense itself, and sometimes it just eats you alive, and there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. So again, ask yourself always, whenever you're going to use any debt, whenever you're going to accumulate it, whenever you're going to use it, you've got to ask yourself again, what's it going to do for me at my business? Help generate revenue, help reduce expenses, eliminate them, whatever the case may be. You need to kind of ask yourself that question. And if it's not, then are there any different ways to get around that? Now, what's the first thing to eliminate debt? Well, that's easy. It's self-evaluation. You need to start to evaluate what's going on with your expenses, and ask yourself, what is that debt? What is it? And a lot of times too, you can go to that creditor and renegotiate your terms. Especially in this day and age, in this economy, you definitely can go out and and it doesn't hurt to ask them to renegotiate. But the first step to eliminate your debt is basically self-evaluation. What debt do you have out there? What is it being used for? Is it maybe a line of credit somewhere that you want to keep open because you have to, or is it something that's just kind of hurting you, and every month it's just becoming a bigger and bigger problem? There are solutions out there to eliminate your debt. Basically, just start, I would say just pay all the minimum on all the, well, let's say you have a bunch of cards, pay all the minimum on one and just start eating down the one that's the worst. That's the biggest thing. Reduce your expenses. Find out what it is that you're looking to, that you're actually using out there, because sometimes, our expenses, if we can eliminate our expenses or reduce them, then you can take that money saved and use it to pay down that debt. The next thing is don't get more debt. Don't do it. I mean, I do understand it's a part of the process of the business, but if you do have to get it, again, use the formula. Is it going to help on revenue? Help reduce expenses? Whatever the case may be, then at that point you can go ahead and go ahead and use that debt. Otherwise, you're just basically going to be hurting yourself. Sources to help. Well, again, yourself, do that self-evaluation. Find out what it is you're looking to accomplish in terms of reducing that debt, and go after it. And then sometimes too, you may have to take out a short-term loan. Some banks probably won't help you because of the fact that you're just trying to reduce or actually pay down debt, and now they're going to be the ones that you're going to owe, and that's a little bit too much of a risk for them. They'd rather see you use it for something like the revenue or reduced expenses or something of that case. But anyways, a great source, credit card receivable loans. That's a great source. Business cash advances, merchant account loans, all great sources to help you get rid of that debt. So again, I want to just re-emphasize, debt is not a bad thing. It's debt, basically whatever it is you're using it for. Start to eliminate it. Don't take any more debt on. If you do, is it going to help generate revenue, eliminate expenses, reduce them, or basically avoid them? And then again, look for alternative sources out there that are going to help you get rid of that debt. My name is Tim. We're Vanderbilt Financial Solutions. Visit our website. We've got a lot of tips on the latest information for all small businesses, a lot of different videos. Feel free to contact us if you need to, and thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.